3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, it is Commissioner Cooper, and it's time for TSS Fantasy.
Boom.
That's what it is.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom.
That's what it is.
Boom.
Yeah.
Fantasy Jesus.
Boom.
I'm here to save this fantasy roster.
Boom.
Fantasy Jesus. Well, it worked for The Rock and it's going to work for me.
Yeah.
Boom.
TSS Fantasy.
Boom.
Yeah. TSS Fantasy.
Boom.
And you just got flandered.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, it is Commissioner Cooper, and it's time for TSS Fantasy.
And you just got flandered.
That's what it is.
Boom.
Yeah.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is Commissioner Cooper, and it's time for TSS Fantasy.
Yeah!
We're in a spooky on location tonight at SeaWorld Spooktacular. Lots of ghosts and goblins out tonight. We got a fun show tonight scheduled for you, however. And of course, we start the introductions. Welcome to the studio, Justin Jesus Herrera.
Yes, that is Justin, the host tonight, Jesus Herrera, to you, sir. Yeah, TSS Fantasy, it's good to be here. What you can do is you can hit that notifications bell, hit that subscribe button. We got a cool little trick-or-treat thing for you guys coming up on Halloween. It's a CJ2K football signed by the man himself. So get yourself subscribed to our channel so you can get something out of this, giveaway, because, we're just giving stuff away. Why don't you take advantage of it, right? Am I right, Commish?
Tonight, Fantasy Jesus takes the wheel just for you, Jordan, and you are the captain now just for you, Nick. Welcome into the studio, Nick. You got Flandern Macaronis.
Hey, welcome everybody. It is Halloween weekend. I got my Halloween decoration in the back. I got my Phillies on because I'm watching the game right now, but I am excited to talk about this week. And if you're having a season like me, a horrible one at that, the best 3 days of the week during fantasy season is Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday, because that way you should have recovered by your horrible, crappy weekend of fantasy scoring. So don't be discouraged. You got plenty of time left.
Way to bore everyone on here. We appreciate it. Well, listen, we got a Fantasy Feud champion in the house. Let's welcome to the studio Jordan from Truth Serum Football, my friend.
What
the
is
judge,
up?
Jordan B. Thomas, I should say. Welcome in.
That's Jordan C. Thomas. Court is adjourned. What is up, everybody? Glad to be back. Glad to defend my title here tonight. And I actually get to stick around this evening, so really excited to hang out with you dudes.
We appreciate you being in, and we got a fun challenger in the building. Let's welcome into the studio Adam Hulse from Adam Hulse Sports. Welcome in, my brother.
I'm happy to be here. First time. It's going to be great to win a belt on my first appearance. That's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Not so fast, my friend.
Love the smack talk.
Gonna be a fun one tonight. I got the Chainsaw Parade walking by me. My apologies. I got to get running because we got a fun night tonight, and I don't want to hold you guys up. Good luck on the show. Justin, good luck, my friend. Appreciate you guys. Have a good night.
Let's do it.
All right. Don't let the goals get you.
Watch your back.
Even when he's off, he's working.
I was going to say, leave it to Commissioner Cooper to say 2 goodbyes and then give everybody else an intro and stick on the show. He took both the lines.
Goodbye. That's all you got to do.
But you know what? You are the captain now.
Yeah, I didn't get to say it and do my little thing, but anyways, guys, it's gonna be a good show. Already ready to go. Let's bust it open right away. Let's go right into the news. So, guys, the news was funneling in like it was the off season. Like we have just breaking news after breaking news after breaking news. I'm going to kick it around to you guys. We're going to start off with the obvious one. Kadarius Toney gets traded to the Chiefs for a 3rd-round pick and a conditional 2nd-round pick or 6th-round pick. I'm sorry. I'm going to kick this to Adam first. Adam, what is your reflection on this trade? Do you think it is what Twitter is pronouncing it to be the second coming of Tyreek Hill, or do you think that it's just going to be another move in a loaded wide receiver room already in Kansas City?
Definitely more the latter than the former. Calling him the second coming of Tyreek Hill is a little bit insane right now. I just think it's amazing how a guy gets traded from Daniel Jones to Patrick Mahomes, and all of a sudden he's not injured anymore. He's feeling great now, right? It's funny how that happens.
Yeah, I'm 100% with that. It's almost like the guy off of Friday, my neck, my back, and then boom, just out. Give him $5 and he's gone, right? So same thing there. I agree.
Yeah, definitely one could say he was more hamstrung by that offense than anything else. But
Got him.
Already getting it going. Nick, did you have any thoughts on the Toney trade?
I just think he's going to be crappy over in Kansas City too. Again, there's nothing wrong with his body. It's all in his head. So once he gets his head straightened out, he's in the Michael Thomas type, Antonio Brown type. Yeah, it's all in his head. So he gets traded this week. So logically, he's going to take about a week to integrate himself into the offense, unless they say just run go routes, and that's not his strength. Maybe the Chiefs saw something, maybe to get him a spark to the title run, but I don't think he's a long-term solution.
Well, with the bye happening this week for the Chiefs, the good thing is he'll probably have about 10 days to really get integrated in that offense. And who knows? He might end up being somebody who's more like a screen guy than anything else right out the gates. So I could see him playing more of a Debo role in that offense. But we're going to move on. Skinny Debo, that's it. Not a taller Tyreek and a skinnier Debo. We're going to move on to a couple of inquiries. So we've got Antonio Gibson, who is supposedly on the block, but Ron Rivera says he's not on the block. What do you guys think if Antonio Gibson gets out of Washington, goes to maybe somewhere like the Bills or the Rams? Is he worth starting again? I'll kick this one to Jordan first.
So for me, anybody that goes to the Bills and or the Rams probably is worth immediately starting. Like those offenses are geared up for as soon as somebody comes in that has the talent, you plug them, you play them. They're fantasy starters. I don't think Antonio Gibson's going to be out of Washington. I think he's kind of shown that he provides a pretty good 1-2 punch, being the 2 to Brian Robinson. I don't expect them to move on from him, but stranger stuff's happened for sure.
Yeah, and that team seems to be, Ron Rivera seems to be a very conservative coach all around, and that team seems to be very conservative all around. They just got a quarterback, and it was Carson Wentz, so that's about as conservative as it comes when it comes to quarterback moves. Nick, I want to throw this one to you. Kareem Hunt possibly going to either the Bills or the Rams. I brought both those teams up again. Looking like the Rams made a serious inquiry this week about Kareem Hunt. Are you interested in going and trading for Kareem Hunt if he gets traded to the Rams?
It would be highly consideration. And then what you got to take into consideration is the high offer price, because as soon as a player leaves one team and goes to a new situation, everyone's going to be like, how much do you want him? So I would definitely go up and grab him, because Kareem Hunt is a definitely plug and play, instant start on any of their team, just maybe with the exception of maybe 4 or 5 teams, but definitely if you put him behind those 2 lines, you're looking at least 12 points a game minimum.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Let's see. So we have a plethora of injuries. Let's get to the main ones. Jamar Chase is out for 4 to 6 weeks right now. He was looking for a second opinion as of yesterday. It looks like we're going to have Deebo Samuel out this week. James Conner out this week. Zeke is out this week. Sorry to both you boys. I see that. Good. I see that Cowboys flag in the back there.
Pollard RB1, baby.
Pollard RB1. Love it. I feel like that's going to be a homer pick for both of you guys. We got Michael Thomas I mean, I've said it before. We should really talk about Michael Thomas when he's in, because that would actually be breaking news at this point.
They should just name this injury list after Michael Thomas.
the Michael Thomas IR list. I like it. Chuba Hubbard, after his big day, is out. We're trending towards not seeing DK Metcalf on the field. Lazard has already been called out, and Devontae Adams doesn't look like he's going to be out, but he's had the flu all week long and has missed practice. So there's definitely something there to be, watching for when you're setting your lineups on Sunday. I'm just going to kick it around to everybody. What are you most worried about? Which player are you most worried about? And let's start off with Nick this time.
Okay, just go through this one more time. Just give me.
So we've got Jamar Chase, we got Deebo Samuel, James Conner, Zeke, Michael Thomas, Jarvis Landry.
All right, I'm going to go with Jamar. I don't want you to go through all this. Jamar. Yeah. I'm going to go with Jamar because he's a highly coveted player in almost anybody's lineup who has him as a share. As far as that offense goes, he sets the table. Now, with him being out, I'm excited personally because I have T. Higgins. And then any owner for any other receiver and even Joe Mixon on that team, especially now this week they're going up against Cleveland, who you can run a Mack truck through their offensive line. They are terrible and they're not very good against the pass. But that's going to be a very huge detriment to anybody who has Jamar Chase on their roster, because usually if you have a stud like Jamar Chase, you have maybe second and third stringers as you have RW1s, RW2s and 3s. So because you paid a lot of high fab dollar for Jamar Chase. So that's really going to set you behind the 8 ball.
I like that one. Jordan, just speaking on what he said about Chase, does this make Tyler Boyd a must start for you every week until Jamar Chase is back?
Tyler Boyd is an absolute smash start. The Bengals have 3 wide receivers currently in the top 25. I think throughout Jamar Chase's absence, when he comes back, I still think they're going to have 3 wide receivers in the top 25. You start up the top 2 options and whoever's playing running back for this team every week from this point on in Cincinnati.
Love it. We're going to get a little fanfare shout out here. We got for life, our Raider story. Love you guys. How you doing? We're doing good.
Is that a documentary on Henry Ruggs?
Oh gosh!
Wow! That was inappropriate and uncalled for.
Wow.
I don't know if too soon is even a thing anymore. Is that too soon?
It sounds like it would be a good documentary. That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying.
Wow. A Raiders life for sure. TGIF for my boy Travis at True Serum Football. We got Mike in the building. What, are you kidding me? And then he says, Jason, get your phone out of your nostril. Bro, he was on a roller coaster and he thought he was showing the entire roller coaster. I just saw his shirt the entire time. And then finally we got the trenches, which both I believe Adam and Jordan are on, right?
Yes.
Yep. So the Trenches giving a shout out if Gibson's available. I would think Carolina, the Jets, or Jacksonville might have pursued. That's an interesting one. Jacksonville just shipped out their number 2 running back. Why would they want another one?
Well, given his age and his injury history, I don't know if they would really want to go after him.
I think Jacksonville and the Jets specifically are probably set for running back right now. I mean, Breece Hall's coming back. He's got that job. Jacksonville's got ETN. They're unleashing him. Carolina, they're kind of in the rebuild. So I don't know. Maybe that one works. But I don't think Jacksonville or the Jets would be good fits for Gibson specifically.
Yeah, they both seem to have figured out their running back
the Jets just
at least right now.
What's that? The Jets, they just got James Robinson, so why would they go out and get Gibson as well?
Exactly, from Jacksonville, who has figured out that ETN is their guy going forward.
I would say if it was Gibson instead of James Robinson, that might have made some sense as a rental. Maybe that's where he was coming from.
Yeah. No, definitely. All right, Adam, I'm going to give you one. Who are you most worried about from that injury list? just to finish this up?
Well, I mean, just for rest of season in general, from those players you named, I'm a little bit worried about Deebo Samuel. I mean, he hasn't been, the same player this year that he was last year. I mean, he's still effective on the field. He's just not doing crazy things like last year. His fantasy points have been way down. Obviously, they just brought in Christian McCaffrey too. That's obviously going to take targets probably away from everybody. Kittle's coming on, Ayuk's coming on. So I don't know. From a fantasy perspective, I'm definitely concerned about Deebo Samuel right now.
I feel you, Adam, as a 49ers fan. I know Deebo has had hamstring issues his entire career.
Yeah.
So it is not a good sign for him. He'll probably be missing multiple weeks. Good thing they got a bye coming up.
Well, they might intentionally lower his work a little bit. You know what I mean? To try to keep him healthy down the stretch, they might, intentionally take some targets away from him.
And they've been doing that this entire season because, like you said, getting Christian McCaffrey was totally a part of the plan to get lower his output because they wanted him for the playoffs. It's an interesting concept, Deebo Samuel, because everybody kind of saw it writing on the wall, right? No way he was going to have 8 rushing touchdowns again. So now it just kind of solidifies it. But guys, let's get into our weekly breakdown. You ready? All right, we're going to start it off with the Denver and Jacksonville game. So I'm going to give you all of the statistics for Denver and Jacksonville as far as points per team for each position group. So Denver is number 1 against quarterbacks. They are number 13 against running backs. They're number 13 against running backs, number 1 against receivers, number 13 against tight ends as well. Jacksonville is 19th against quarterbacks. Running backs, they're 25th. 15th against wide receivers. Tight end, they're 9th. And then we have little tidbits for this. So all time, it is 7-7. And outside of week 2, defenses have been top 12 against Denver's offense. The Jags are also 4-3 in London. And both teams have suffered 4 losses in a row. So this one's going to you, Jordan. Tell me what you think about this game. Who do you think is going to be fantasy relevant?
Fantasy relevant. It's hard to find a lot of pieces in this matchup. I think you got a lot of fringe guys and a lot of bye week fillers. I do really think the Jerry Jeudy versus Darius Williams matchup in particular is pretty sexy. Williams has been targeted more on the inside than any corner in the NFL this season. Jerry Jeudy, I think, is going to eat him alive. I could see a lot of dinking and dunking to Jeudy and some big plays outside of that. Cortland Sutton's my boy. Adams got him in the trenches. It just has not worked so far this year. The Jags have shown they could be beaten, you probably have to start Cortland Sutton if you have him on your team. But I'm not starting with confidence. One interesting play this week, I think, is Dortch. That kid's been tearing it up. Got the long hair, don't care. I love it. I think he is definitely somebody who, or not Dortch, Dulcich. Sorry, just realized I said it. Anyway, Dulcich. Yep. And I think he's somebody who could get in the end zone. Probably fading Russell Wilson. On the Jaguar side, I'm starting Trevor Lawrence is kind of a lower end QB1, high end QB2. Travis Etienne, I think, has a juicy matchup. First in yards per touch. Denver allows the 7th most running back catches. No more James Robinson. I think there's a really good recipe for him to have a big fantasy day again.
Love it. Love it. I got a quick question for all 3 of you. Are you cutting Russell Wilson if he does terrible this week? If he pulls on another, dangerous Denver game, are you done with him?
Do you know how many leagues I've already dropped Russell Wilson in this season? I've been done with him. He gone.
I'm proud of you.
Bro, he's going to do great this week. Didn't you hear? He was doing high knees on the plane while everybody else was sleeping. He's going to kill it this week.
He's putting in that work, trying to be a good teammate.
That's it.
I'm pretty sure Bradley Chubb sacked him knowing that he was going to be leaving Denver this week. Let's move on to our next game. It's going to be Carolina and Atlanta. I believe that is Nick's game.
Yes.
So Carolina against the quarterback is 12th, against the running back 23rd, wide receiver 21st, tight end 12th. Atlanta on the other side is 31st against the quarterback, 9th against the running back, 32nd against wide receivers, 27th against tight ends. Atlanta leads the series 34-20. A little tidbit that I pulled for this one: Marcus Mariota has only thrown 27 pass attempts in the past 2 games. That's nuts. Like, when you really think about it,
that's like Tebow numbers.
That's Tebow numbers. Gosh. But Nick, how do you look at this game going for both these teams that are just going to be looking to establish the run? Is it going to be a snore fest of the week?
Oh, it's got to be. It's going to be low. It's going to be a low scoring. I'm gonna say it's going to be like a 15-10 score. It's going to be terrible. It's going to be virtually unwatchable. There's only a couple players that are really relevant in this game at all. Foreman has got to be starter. Okay, right now he's 29th ranked, but his best finish was in week 7. He scored 14 points. He's got 155 rushing yards, no TDs yet, but that's because now we are CMC AD. So again, I would start Foreman, and on Carolina, I would start DJ Moore. Now, the reason why DJ Moore is because he's significantly better with anybody else except number 6. And number 6 says right now he is embracing the backup role, and he's willing to do anything to help this team win, including not be a Panther anymore. And I think the rest of Charlotte would be happy about that. So right now, DJ Moore's best finish was 7th. He only did it one time, and he finished 12 points. He got 12.6, and he was in double figures only twice. The other game was against the Giants in week 2. As far as on the Falcon side, there's only really one player worth playing, and he's a fringe at that, is Marcus Mariota. Now, that's only if you are in a 2-quarterback league. Okay, so Marcus Mariota, he's doing surprisingly well for as terrible as he is, and we have alluded to it on our other shows. It's his rushing. So he's at best, he was finished 19 against New Orleans, 18th at Tampa Bay, and he had 24 points against San Francisco. So in a double quarterback super flex, I would play him. Otherwise, stay away from anybody else in this game.
Yeah, that's interesting. Baker Mayfield might be preparing to be the backup for the rest of his life. But, as far as this Jaguars offense goes, PJ Walker did not have a bad week last week. Do you perceive possibility of him being a QB2 this week in a super flex if super desperation comes around?
No.
If you're down with Sam Ellinger and PJ Walker, who are you going with?
I'd probably go with Ellinger because of the surprise, and I think they got a better offense.
That was my choice too. That's how sad one of my leagues is.
Wow.
I am a Texas Longhorns fan, and I am in no way, shape, or form starting Sam Ellinger on any of my rosters. Not happening.
You're a 6th-round draft pick for a reason, right? It is, it's not going to say, well, Tom Brady did it. Yeah, like we got a bunch of Tom Brady's running around.
Giselle has a bunch of little Tom Brady's running around, but
she might have some little Antonio Brown running around too.
Oh jeez, Nick, talk about too soon. Let's move on to the next game. Let's get Adam in this one. Miami and Detroit. So Miami currently is 26th against the quarterback, 17th against the running back, 24th against the receivers, 20th against tight ends. On the other side, Detroit is just a hot mess. They're 28th against quarterback, 31st against running back, 18th surprisingly against wide receiver, and 28th against the tight end. The record right now is 7-5. The Dolphins, little tidbits in this one. Swift has practiced this week, a full practice, and St. Brown, while still in concussion protocol, is trending towards playing this week. What is your take on this game?
Well, I mean, if you have St. Brown and he plays, you obviously have to play him. I don't feel great about him, but I'm definitely not leaving him on my bench in that situation. I mean, look, this game has the highest point total of the week on the betting line. It's 51.5 over under. They're expecting a lot of points. I am as well. I'm starting just about everybody in this one. Love the Dolphins. Love everybody on the Dolphins. I have Tua as a top 10 quarterback this week. I have, Tyreek and Waddle as WR1 and WR6 this week. Mostert for me is a borderline RB1 this week. I mean, the Lions are the only team in the league allowing more than 30 points per game. Their defense is awful. They're terrible against the run and terrible against the pass. So I'm firing up all my Dolphins this week. And I mean, even the Lions have a shot to definitely put up some points. The last time Jared Goff played at home in a favorable matchup, he finished QB4 when he faced the Seahawks. So in the right matchup, Goff can put up big numbers, which means good things for all the skill position players. So lots of scoring here. Fire them all up.
Indeed, indeed. And Commissioner Cooper is obviously not getting scared enough because he is still shrieking out America's team. Jason, nobody cares about Jimmy Johnson's second favorite team.
It's America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, well represented tonight, right, Adam?
That's right. All day, baby.
There you go. There you go. Dak is back. Never thought I'd hear that and want to say yes, hallelujah. So we got Jordan up with the Dallas Cowboys. Adam, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were a Cowboys fan. I would have made you guys rock, paper, scissors for this one.
Hold on, wait a minute. I guess the question is that by choice or did y'all lose a bet?
It was by birth.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
Always. Cowboys,
I mean, I'm a Longhorns fan. I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm a Mavericks fan, a Rangers fan. It's been a rough sports life. I just got to say that would, that's me right there. Just rough.
I love the sarcasm there. It's been a rough sports life.
It has, man. It has. My team sucked.
Yeah, being a Knicks fan, man.
Oh, yeah. Why would you do that to yourself
right there? Yeah. How can you go from a Cowboys fan to being a Knicks fan? Like, don't you like championships?
That's what he's got the Yankees for.
I am a Yankees fan also. I'm born in Texas, grew up in New Jersey. So I got a little bit of Texas, a little bit of New York.
So before we move on, I thought the rule was if you're a Cowboys fan, you're a Lakers fan, and then a Yankees fan, and then you don't give two turds about hockey. So,
and Alabama and Duke.
Oh, right.
Baby. We're front running all the way, right?
Exactly. He's probably a Duke lacrosse fan too.
Duke lacrosse.
I think Duke's good at lacrosse, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
There you go. So we got Chicago at Dallas, Jordan. So we've got Chicago is seventh best against the quarterback. And that's not by choice because the running game has been so good against Chicago. 27th against the running backs. Wide receivers, they're fourth best against. Tight ends, they're also fourth. Dallas on the other side, quite impressive. QB, they're fifth. Running back, they're third. Wide receiver, 15th. And tight end, sixth. So what say you about this? Also, the all-time record is 13-12, so it's pretty damn close.
So what I have to say about this is all of those Chicago stats were nice, but all of those Chicago stats included Robert Quinn, who is no longer on that team. I think Dallas is going to have a field day against this defense, and I think more importantly, this Dallas defense is going to have a field day against Justin Fields. Fields leads all passers and sacks taken. Offensive line allows pressure on 33.5% of snaps, most in the league, and Dallas is averaging 4.6 7 sacks a game. You guys can do that math. My big start in this week, or my starts in this week, are pretty much all on the Dallas side. I'm fading most of the Bears. I think you got to dial up Monty, and I think there are some certain circumstances where you might even start Herbert this week, but not starting either of those guys and looking for a ton of points from them. More emergency situation, especially for Herbert. On the Cowboys side of the ball, you start everybody. Give me Dak, give me CD, give me Tony Pollard. Probably am not rolling out Michael Gallup, not rolling out Dalton Schultz. I think I think Dallas has some options at the tight end for the first time in a long time. There's multiple pieces there. Tony Pollard's my smash of the week. 1 career game without Ezekiel Elliott, running back 1 during that time, week 15 of 2020. There haven't been any active running backs on this Cowboys roster all year outside of Zeke and outside of Pollard. So whoever ends up getting a call up, I don't really expect them to take the ball. So I am smashing Tony Pollard this week. I think he's a top 5 RB.
I like that. I like that a lot. As somebody who has a lot of Tony Pollard and has just been waiting for this day to come, I enjoy that take. Let's move on to the Penn State battle. And who better to do it than the Penn Flanders himself? We got Philadelphia. We got Pittsburgh. Nick doesn't know which flag to tear down right now because he's got them both hanging up in his house.
No, I don't. I don't have any tear down in my house.
Yeah, you got nothing but a haunted house in the background and the moon. So for the quarterback for the Eagles, they are second against quarterbacks, 20th against running backs, 10th against receivers, 8th against tight ends. For the quarterbacks on the other side for Pittsburgh, they are 24th, 14th against running back, wide receiver, they're 31st, and 15th against tight ends. This battle is pretty lopsided. The Eagles are winning at 47-29, and there's 3 ties. What say you about the Penn State battle?
Okay, well, it's not a battle if only one team is good. So let's just start there. So again, my official team is the Birds. So I'm gonna just put that elephant out of its misery. All right. So as my expert analysis would be for the Eagles, if you have an Eagle, start them. Okay, start them. All right. So Jalen Hurts has had 4 top 4 finishes this season. He's 5th for week 8. Miles Sanders, his point range is 4 to 26 points. All right, so he's a mixed bag depending on who's playing. His game high was 27 points against Jacksonville. Against this team, against this run defense, start him because the Eagles have the number 1 offensive line in the league. All right, and for instance. Lance Johnson is starting this week, so that's a big plus. And as far as the Pittsburgh defensive line, they have only 12 sacks, so they're not getting to the quarterback, and they're still 2-7 without T.J. Watt. All right, so again, and then A.J. Brown, start him. The Steelers are 30th against the pass, start him. Devonta Smith, start him. Dallas Goedert, start him. There's only one guy on Pittsburgh that I would start, and it's only for PPR, and that's Deontay Johnson because he gets monster target volume. Other than that, anybody else on that Steeler offense, I would not start. I would not start Najee Harris. I would not start Freiermuth. Nobody. And last year, Claypool had a monster game against Philly. But that's because he had the secret weapon. He had the superpower. He had Big Ben. This year, he's got Kenny Pickett. So, again, he's going to live up to his name, and the Eagles are going to pick it out of the sky. So, Philly, big time.
Yeah, it's kind of a, obviously being a quarterback and having pick in your name does not really give you much of a good start for your career. And he's already off to a rough start. I'm surprised you didn't say another guy with pick in his name, George Pickens, because he's been a very solid wide receiver too, ever since joining up with Kenny Pickett. I mean, Pickett might not be good, but Pickens has been seeing the the at least lion's share as far as fantasy points of that wide receiver core with Kenny in there.
I had mistakenly omitted him. I do apologize for the Kenny Pickett, for the George Pickens fans. He will be a stud. Get him on your dynasty roster now, today.
I love it. All right, guys. Well, we are going to have some fun today, and we are going to get this going because it's challenger versus champ. They're going to get in the trenches, and we're going to do some fantasy.
Brad?
Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson. It's going to be a long game.
All right, fellas. So I know Jordan knows the rules, but I'm just going to give it to you, Adam, real quick. So if you get one right, don't just keep on shouting out answers. We're going to give you a correct answer buzzer, and then you're going to have the board. And don't just shout out answers because you might give your opponent the answers. That's kind of happened to Jordan before.
Isn't that how he won? Isn't that how he won last time?
Wow.
I think that's how he won one round last time. Yeah.
Wow.
So just a few tips for Adam, and let's get this thing going, guys. So our first question is, we had 5 running backs all tie for the lead last week with 2 red zone targets. Name all 5 of them. Well, give me one of them to start off with.
Saquon Barkley.
Saquon Barkley.
Did you say targets? Specifically targets?
Red zone targets, yep.
Austin Eckler?
Never a bad choice. Jordan, you have the board.
Josh Jacobs.
Ooh.
Damn, I thought that one was on there for sure. That guy just stayed in the end zone last week. Ramondre Stevenson. Commissioner Cooper's questions are way easier.
These are Commissioner Cooper's questions.
Damian Pierce.
Oh, hell no!
When you said Damian Pierce, I was just like, I got to give him this one, bro. Damian Pierce does not catch the ball enough to have 2 red zone targets.
Man, I don't know. You would think Josh Jacobs would be in there. That one's tough.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be there too. Adam, here's your chance. You can steal it. He left 4 guys on the board for you.
I'm going to go with Alvin Kamara.
Alvin Kamara?
Wow. I was confident in that one.
Yeah, I thought you had that one for sure.
Yeah. I mean, you named all guys that should have gotten red zone targets, but 4 guys that did.
Keyword is should have.
Raheem Mostert, Naheem Hines, and Dontrell Hilliard.
Wow.
Yeah,
if you don't know, now you know.
I already forgot.
Obviously, none of those guys are on your waiver priorities. So we're going to get into some Halloween ones here. So according to candystore.com, these 5 answers are your top most popular Halloween candy.
Take me to the candy shop.
Candy corn.
Candy corn. Oh, man.
Damn.
I'm going to go with Reese's.
And you are correct. Trust me, Jordan, I was surprised by this list. I was.
How
All
is
right, let's
candy
go with-
corn not on it? Sorry.
Because candy corn is the worst candy ever created.
It's
who wants
hot-
candy
it
corn?
screams
It is-
Halloween candy.
It is the only candy for Halloween. It's like Easter eggs for Easter.
Yeah.
Candy corn is the candy you throw at the doors that give it to you and run away.
But you do it
That
on
is very
Halloween
true,
is
Nick.
the important part.
All right, Adam, the board is yours.
All right, I'm going to go with M&M's.
Figuring it out. 0 strikes on the board. You've got 3 left.
How about Kit Kat?
Ooh.
All right.
Not on Halloween.
Okay.
Not breaking off any Kit Kat bars.
Anytime but Halloween.
Let's go with Snickers.
Decent choice.
But wrong.
Oh, man, we're going in the wrong direction now. We're going the wrong way.
Going in just the right
Two
direction.
2 strikes, and you got 3 answers left.
All right, I'm going to move away from chocolate, and let's go with Skittles.
He went beast mode with that one.
I
knew you were going to do
Hey,
that.
look, I'm just here so I don't get fines. I'm just here so I don't get fines. That's all. All right, let's see.
All right. 2 more.
You know, I'm not feeling great about this answer, but I'm going to go with Hershey Kisses. Not feeling good about it, though.
What?
I have never heard someone say so many wrong things, one after the other, consecutively in a row.
That's awesome. I love that show.
To be fair, it wasn't consecutively in a row, but you did say 3 wrong answers.
3 out of 4. 3 out of 4 wrong.
So
All right,
Hershey's-
Jordan.
So Hershey's was definitely my answer. So Hail Mary here, 3 Musketeers.
Whoa, that is a Hail Mary. And it's I love it. I love it. We're going into round 3 and we're 1-1, baby. Mano y mano.
How it should be.
Can I give him a hint? You didn't say the answers.
We didn't finish it off. I'm sorry. Yeah. So, do you want to say it, or do you want me to say it? It's okay.
This one is a chocolatey, peanut buttery, good, delicious.
He already said Reese's.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This one is this one's a hot one.
Don't think too much about it. Just
Big
say the
Red?
first thing you would. Red Hots? I love
Not Red Hots.
Like atomic fireballs.
Hot tamales.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Really?
That's
on there. And candy
That's tough.
corn isn't
That's
on
tough
there?
tamales for you, but yeah, it's actually hot tamales.
All right, you gonna tell him the other one?
The other one was really weird. Starburst,
Yeah.
number 4.
Starburst.
Good
Don't
answer.
eat Starburst
good
anymore.
answer.
Does anybody ever eat Starburst?
My wife
I
eats
feel
the hell
like
out of some
More so
Starburst.
than hot tamales.
Definitely.
Yeah,
more so
that's
than
why
tamales.
that's why hot tamales was number 5 and this was number 4.
Who exactly was interviewed for this list? Because I've got some questions about these people.
Yeah. It was like Charlie Day got interviewed for every one of these. So let's get back to the football questions. Another last week question. It's tight end red zone targets. Who led the league in tight end red zone targets last week?
Travis Kelce.
George Kittle.
Yes. On National Tight End Day, yes, he did. George Kittle was number 3 with 2. All right, Adam, you got the board.
Zach Ertz.
Mr. Ertz only had 2 targets last week, period. Or 2.
Zach Ertz is incorrect.
Yeah. You can thank DeAndre Hopkins for that.
Wait, it was right or wrong?
Well, it was
I'm sorry.
wrong,
It was incorrect.
but he gave you the check.
The pump
That was
fake.
cold. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was cold, Justin.
That was cold. That was
Damn.
cold. I don't feel bad at all either. All right, so 1 strike. You got 1 right. You've got 4 on the board.
What about Mike Gesicki?
Ooh, the commission's favorite tight end.
Mike Gesicki was number 4, sir.
Number 4. Okay. Dalton Schultz? What about Hayden Hurst?
Stop it. Get some help.
No Hayden Hurst.
Maybe this week, though. Maybe this week.
Yeah, maybe this week.
All right, Brevin.
All right, Jordan.
All right, Jordan.
So
Pressure's
it was
on.
No
Pressure's
Google
on.
machines.
tight end red zone targets last
Red
week.
zone Are you Googling this?
And right here, tight end red zone targets last
So
week.
he got so the
He got
answers
Kittle and Gesicki, number 3 and 4.
3 and 4. We're looking
Yep.
for 1, 2, and 5.
No pressure.
Jawan Johnson.
Jesus, money.
Number
Very
2,
nice.
Jawan Johnson. Number 2.
Yep. 2 red
That
zone
would
targets, 2
suck.
touchdowns. Hell yeah.
Number
would never
1
bet him.
was Gerald Everett. And number
What was number
5,
five, Nick?
I gave away and nobody listened by accident. It was Brevin Jordan. I said, all right, Brevin, and I meant to say Jordan, but Brevin came out.
I was wondering who the hell Brevin was, so that makes a lot of sense.
Well, he was a number 5 on this list. That's who that was.
Name we hadn't heard of in a long time. Okay, guys, are you ready for one of those crazy, kooky Halloween centered questions that Kamish got offline? So it's probably not really accurate at all because whoever did it is probably a putz.
My answer is already hot tamales.
You don't want to do that. You really want to rescind that answer.
So we got the top 7 Halloween movies according to IMBD.com. 7 answers on the board, guys. That's all you
Halloween.
guys. Halloween.
Halloween what?
Halloween
What's
movies.
the question?
Top 7 Halloween movies.
The Halloween franchise. Halloween. The movie Halloween.
Boom. How could you not have a list without Michael Myers?
Friday the 13th.
Man.
Surprisingly incorrect.
Yeah.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Again, surprisingly incorrect.
You're hitting all the classics, but it's just not. Like
My
I said,
wife
it's
would
putzes.
my wife would nail this because she's like a horror movie freak. I am not. The Ring.
No rings for you this evening, sir. Surprisingly, not on this list.
So we've got 6 movies on there for you, Adam. And
So I'm going to move a little bit away from classic horror, and I'm going to say Hocus Pocus.
my God.
Adam was
That's-
focused because he
that's a
picked
classic.
Hocus Pocus. Number 2 was Halloween. Number 3, Nightmare Before Christmas. That is a classic.
Yep.
Jordan went all horror. Okay. Surprisingly, this is a family list. Number 4, Halloween Town. Number
I don't even know what
5,
that is.
Yeah, me
that's a
either.
spin-off of Nightmare Before Christmas. Number 5 is Trick or Treat. Number 6 is The Addams Family. And number 7 is the man you say his name 3 times. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
All right. Yep. Not a bad list, even though I don't know what Halloween Town or Trick or Treat is. So
I think they're children's movies.
feels about right. Is Nightmare Before Christmas a Christmas movie too?
It could be either be a Christmas movie or it can be a Halloween movie. Just like I'm going to stand by Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
That's fair enough. It happens during the Christmas time.
It takes place at a Christmas party. It's a Christmas movie.
All right, guys. Back to the football stuff. The last question is,
Good luck, Adam.
This is for all of it. This is for all of it.
This is it. All the marbles right here. Right, Nick? We're 2-2?
2-2.
2-2. All right.
Game 7.
Sudden death.
2-2. Here we go.
Here we go. Top 5 quarterback. Oh, okay, so the most red zone attempts by a quarterback last week. You just
Lamar
5 answers
Jackson.
on the boards. Did you say Lamar
He said
Jackson?
Lamar Jackson.
Got it.
Kyler Murray.
Patrick Mahomes.
That breaks my heart, Jordan.
We suck.
Right?
It's a hard question.
Yeah, it is.
Geno Smith.
I kind
We
of
got
don't want to.
28 more quarterbacks, guys.
I
Yeah.
kind of don't want to get this one right. I figure whoever misses this is going to win this question. PJ Walker.
Yee! No.
Did we understand this question?
Okay, let me repeat it again.
Okay.
The top 6 answers on the board. Most red zone attempts last week by a quarterback.
Joe Burrow. What? the
Incorrect.
hell?
How is that? Andy Dalton?
At number 5, Andy Dalton with 7.
You guys didn't mishear the question. The answers just suck.
So I have a feeling my championship's about to be stripped from me by old Adam over here, but I'm going to give it a go. Daniel Jones.
Oh, we're not that bad. No,
He had enough time in the red zone.
Danny Dimes.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Ooh.
Jimmy G Money, number 1 with 9.
So you got 3 on the board.
1 strike.
Trevor Lawrence.
Whoa.
Trevor Lawrence with 6. Number 6 with 7.
All right. What you got left?
Tom Brady.
Sorry. That was rude of me. No, he's not on the list.
Justin Herbert.
Oh, now we're getting to the elite quarterbacks.
Second with 9.
You got 2 left. 2 left.
You need
Top
numbers
6.
3 and 4.
I have no idea. Taylor Heineke.
Ho, 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 ho.
Taylor Heineke.
Where'd you pull that one from?
Number
I'm just
3.
I'm just trying to think of really not great quarterbacks because that seems to be like this whole list.
He pulled the Taylor Heineke out of his hiney and came in at number 3 with 8. He's got 1 left. Number 4.
And you pulled a corny
on the
joke
list.
out of the quarterback.
Oh, I got a plethora of corny jokes, my friend. Plethora. The word of the day, plethora.
All right, Jordan, you got 1 left, man.
Justin Fields.
Oh, so close.
That's the first time I've seen the Vader clip. I love it.
That's the first time you've ever seen that?
On the show, yeah.
Oh, yeah, on the show. Right. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Good
All
luck,
right, Adam. You've got 1 on the board, and you can steal the entire board and dethrone Jordan with this 1 answer.
And then he'll mail you those little belts.
Cruiserweight Championship of the world.
We got a do or die answer here. And I am going to go with Dak Prescott.
Oh.
Oh, hell no!
Was it Derek Carr? Because that was my other pick. It was Derek
It was
Carr.
not Derek Carr.
It was even worse.
It was way worse. Davis Mills.
Oh. Wow.
All right. Well, you know
I
what
didn't
that
pick a
means.
shitty enough
Jordan.
quarterback, I guess.
This was at least 5 times as hard as either of the other times I've done this. This was brutal, man.
You earned this one, Jordan.
I don't think it's even fair to give Adam this award. I don't think it's even fair.
Give it to him. I got it. Give it to him, baby.
Don't worry, Adam. You know, this comes out of a place of love, but we have something we always want to send home with our losers.
You got to play it.
Dumbass. Thank these. They call me dumbass. Black Entertainment. Stupid.
So you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
All right, so now that marathon is over, we are going to hear a quick word from our boy Bandy on his flex picks of the week.
Oh, man.
I've been working out.
Oh, hello. My name is Captain Jack Sparrow, and I'm here with Bandy's Flex Start of the Week. Let us get into it, shall we? First of all, Marquise Goodwin. Over there in Seattle. Looking great, mate. I'll tell you what, 2 touchdowns. DK Metcalf is hurt. Marquise Goodwin is in there. A backflip at the end of the game. Show me more, mate. Second on my list, Khalil Herbert. Herbert, the Bears are finally figuring out that he is the man to do things in that backfield. They have figured it out. Have you? Third, we've got to talk about my mate, Naheem Hines. Now, I know we've all been fooled by him before. However, Samuel Ellinger is coming in, and I believe that Frank Reich is going to work that boy, start Naheem Hines, this week. Guys, thank you so much. Now, my accent may be terrible, but my fantasy advice is legit. Why not take a shot?
It's a pirate's life for me. Savvy?
When they ask why is the rum gone, it's because Bandy's drinking it all.
That was phenomenal.
That was disturbing, man. It's too close to bedtime for that.
I just love the little pirate jingle in the background.
Yeah, it was great.
All right, guys. So we're back to breaking it down after that marathon of a family feud. Let's get to it. Let's go with Arizona at Minnesota. So surprisingly, this is Jordan's game, but I found out that freaking Arizona hasn't won in Minnesota since 1977. That is nuts.
Wow.
That is nuts. And here's an even bigger one for you. The Cardinals were once the St. Louis Cardinals, right?
And Chicago.
Moving. And Chicago, yeah. And Phoenix, too, before they were Arizona, technically. Ever since they've moved to Arizona/Phoenix, they are 17-3. The Minnesota Vikings are against the Cardinals.
Huh.
That's called ownership. That is called owning a team right there. This game, I'll break it down real quick. Arizona is 27th against the quarterback, 9th against the running back. Wide receiver, they're 9th as well. Tight end, 31st. Minnesota is 19th against the quarterback, 17th against the running back, 17th against the wide receiver, and 25th against the tight end. Jordan, give us some quick advice about this game, who you start and who you sitting.
Super chalky game. Start DeAndre Hopkins, was first overall in usage last week, 14 targets on only 26 routes run. He is an absolute smash wide receiver one. Got to dial up Kyler on the Minnesota side. You're starting Kirk Cousins, you're starting Dalvin Cook, you're starting Justin Jefferson. You start your chalky plays in this game.
Fair enough. Let's get on to Las Vegas at New Orleans. Las Vegas is currently 32nd against the quarterback, 13th against the running back, 25th against wide receivers, 30th against tight ends. New Orleans on the other side, 21st against quarterback and running back, 28th against the wide receivers, 3rd against tight ends. That's a surprising one. This one's going to Nick. A little narrative behind it. Dennis Allen, the Saints coach, is the guy who picked Derek Carr. Derek Carr says he has a lot of great, feelings for Dennis Allen in the sense that, he respects him. He always says thank you for entrusting me with the team and everything. Do you see this as a Dennis Allen revenge game? Right now, the Raiders are 7-6-1 against the Saints. Andy Dalton will be starting, and there is no Michael Thomas. What are you looking at in this game, Nick? Who are you starting?
Who is starting? Well, first of all, Dennis Allen was a terrible hire. I said it from the beginning of the season. How do you expect to win when you hire a guy who's 8-28? And it appears to be that Carr was a major contributor of that. But no, I'm not going to slam Carr because
they only played 4 games together.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you what. Dennis Allen is a terrible coach. Right now, so is McDaniel. Okay, the Raiders are not doing well. Their receivers are injured. This is going to be a run game. Okay, because Derek Carr has only one top 10 finish this year against Tennessee, where he got 20 points. Devontae Adams, he's been non-existent this year. Everyone had high hopes for him, myself included, and he got ghosted. And if you drafted him, you got ghosted. Darren Waller is terrible this year. You got ghosted by him. He's 32nd. In his first 2 games, he finished 8th and he finished 2nd. In his last 2 games, he finished 38th and 35th. You can't play him. The only guy you can play on the Las Vegas Raiders is Josh Jacobs, because he finished number 1 twice this year. In his last 3 games, he's finished 1st, 5th, and 1st with 29, 25, and 33. This man is on a roll. They did not give him his contract, his extension, and he is a little PO'd about it, and he's going to do something about it. So the only player on this Las Vegas Raiders team worth starting is Josh Jacobs. As far as New Orleans, you can't trust their quarterback. Even though it's weird to say that the Saints are better with Alvin Kamara. I mean, not Alvin Kamara. They're better with Andy Dalton than they are with Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston is now healthy, and they said, take a seat. All right? So you got the Red Rocket at quarterback for the Saints. Alvin Kamara is basically the only guy you can start on this team with confidence. And I'm going to tell you why right now. He's got this game. His game high is 17, and Las Vegas is terrible against the run. They are way knee deep in the 20s. Chris Olave, you can start him. He's a little dicey because he's coming off an injury. But he's only the healthy receiver that the Saints got. We talked about it at the top of the show. We only talk about Michael Thomas when he's healthy, and that's never. All right. So right now, Chris Olave right now is number 14th ranked, and he's had a top 10 finish one time in Week 8. He had a 14.7, and you can throw against the Raiders because their DBs are terrible. And the other guy, Mr. Mystery of all time, is Taysom Hill. All right, Taysom Hill, surprisingly, at a tight end, he's had 3 top 5 finishes, but it's all because he's ran the ball. He still has one reception for 2 yards. In Week 13, he had 14 points. Week 5, he was a top finisher. He had 34 points. At Week 7, he was the 9th finisher at he was number 4th finisher with 9 points. So we are in Vegas, right? And if you're a gambling person, you're going to gamble on Taysom Hill because you don't know if he's going to boom or if he's going to bust. So the only guys I can say start with confidence in this game are the running backs with Kamara and Jacobs, mainly Jacobs.
Well, we are in New Orleans, and I will just say this, Nick, we got to get you a wrap it up box or a glass of water or something, man, because you went hard in the paint there. You got to take a sip or something. I'm
here to inform. I'm doing my job.
Hey, we love it. We love it, Nick. We love it. So let's move on to our next game. It's going to be the Giants and the Seahawks. Quarterbacks for the Giants they're 13th against the quarterback, 16th against the running back, 3rd against the wide receiver, 21st against the tight end. Seattle on the other side, 22nd against the quarterback, 28th against the running back. Wide receivers, they're 6th against, and tight ends, they are dead last. All-time record, the Giants are 10-9 against Seattle. This is one that I pulled real quick. They are 2-1 against Pete Carroll in Seattle. Seattle is notoriously a bad area for teams to play, kind of like Arrowhead. The noise just messes with them. Something about the Giants, no matter how shitty they are, they seem to go in there and have success. Jordan, this is passed to you. Tell me who's going to be good in this game.
So first of all, I think the New York Giants are the most disrespected 5-1 team, or 6 and whatever they are now, I have ever seen. They are the underdog yet again. I get it, it's at Seattle. They've been playing good, but I think the G-men sneak this one out. You smash Saquon Barkley. I'm not reinventing the wheel by telling you different there. Daniel Jones, quarterback 11 on the season. He's borderline every week start, had his big blow-up game last week. Currently has more rushing yards on the season than Najee Harris. Has has 5 game-winning drives. No other team has 3. Daniel Jones' comeback season is very real, so I'm dialing him up. And I'm notorious for hating the Giants, so this is not easy for me to say. On the other side of the ball, the Seattle Seahawks, you got to start Geno Smith, crushing it week in and week out. Kenneth Walker, first in broken tackles, first in rush yards, second in usage this season since he has started playing. Ran 13 routes last week, season high. Top 5 smash running back the rest of the way for me. Giants rush D's 30th in the league. You can run on them all day. And then I'm dialing up Tyler Lockett. I'm dialing up Will Dissly. I'm playing everybody I can against this New York Giants team. I think this is going to be a shootout by the end of the day.
Awesome. I like that. Disrespect. I completely understand that. For me, I felt like this New York Giants had 2020 or 2019 Carolina Panthers feel to it, where they were that undefeated team that everybody's like, nah, they're really not that good. But they have proven me wrong. They have played some good teams and played them well, especially on defense.
Didn't beat Dallas, though.
Didn't beat Dallas, and they've got a big game against Dallas and 2 big games against Philly coming up. So we'll see what happens in that NFC East. Adam, I'm going to go to you for New England and the Jets. So the quarterback for New England, they're 19th against the quarterback, 7th against running backs, 12th against receivers, 22nd against tight ends. The Jets are 10th against quarterbacks, 11th against running backs, 14th against wide receivers, and 16th against the tight end. Talk about a double New York story, a New York state of mind. The Jets and the Giants are rejoicing right now. The Pats have an all-time record of 71-54-1 against the Jets. The Pats have absolutely dominated them, 12 wins in a row. The last time the Jets won was 2015. Oh, and that guy, Mac Jones, yeah, he's so-called the starter right now. We'll see how long that lasts.
Give him
Adam,
3 series.
tell me.
Well, I
maybe
mean,
we'll make it for this time.
Obviously, a lot of those recent wins in that long streak, a lot of that had to do with Tom Brady being there for so long and the Patriots dominating for so long. This is not Tom Brady's Patriots. I do not believe in this Patriot offense at all. I mean, if you have Ramondre Stevenson, you're starting him, of course. I'm not starting Damian Harris. I mean, there's worse people, that like he's not the worst choice, but like I'm avoiding him if I can. Don't even really like Jacoby Myers in this one because I do believe in the Jets defense, and I think Sauce Gardner is absolutely legit. So from Patriots side, again, it's really just Ramondre for me, and it's kind of the same story for me on the Jets side. I mean, Garrett Wilson's done nothing since Zach Wilson has returned. Like the one matchup you kind of want to take advantage of fantasy-wise when you're playing the Patriots is the tight end, but what happened to Tyler Conklin? Everybody's all excited about him the first part of the season. He's also completely disappeared pretty much. So for me, it's just Michael Carter, just from a volume standpoint. I don't see James Robinson playing this week. And even if he does play, he's not going to do too much. This will probably be the biggest workload Michael Carter gets all season long. So if you have him, you're playing him. Ramondre, you're playing him. But that's pretty much it for me for this game.
For sure. Yeah, definitely Garrett Wilson and Tyler Conklin are missing Joe Flacco in his 45 attempts a game.
Yep.
But yeah, I think this will definitely be, it'll be an interesting divisional game. It was our big game Wednesday. 2 teams we didn't really expect to be where they are right now and doing well. So, Nick, I'm going to bump it to you for Washington and Indianapolis. QB, Washington is 25th against the QB, 23rd against the running back, 26th against the wide receiver, 4th against the tight end. Indy is 14th right now against quarterbacks, 21st against running backs, 2nd against receivers, and 23rd against tight ends. Indy holds a 21-12 record over Washington and are rolling with 4 straight wins. The Colts are against the Commanders. What say you about this game? Who are you starting? Who are you sitting?
Okay, I'm only going to highlight 4 players, and I'm not going to get all in the paint with it this time. On Washington's side, the guy you're going to play with the most confidence is Brian Johnson. I think this is going to be a heavy ground game. Now, his best finish, this season, he's ranked 28th this week anyway. I'm sorry, excuse me. And his best finish is 20th, where he had 12 points. This is going to be a heavy run game because you're not going to trust Heineke to throw the ball too much. So that's going to hurt Terry McLaurin. But last week he had a top 8 finish with 13 points. Indy they're pretty decent against the pass, but they're not terrible either. So play him with caution. You're gonna start Taylor, even though he's had a disappointing season. He's only had one top 10 finish this year where he came in 6th and he scored 23 and a half points, albeit he's been injured. But again, this running game is not getting off the ground. This O-line is not that good, and Frank Reich might not finish the season. And now they're going to roll in Ellinger, who, as we alluded to earlier, he's a 6th-round pick. So with that being said, Pittman and Pierce. I have Michael Pittman. I'm benching him this week because I don't know what to expect. I'm not expecting much out of his 6th-round pick. He's not that accurate. Ellinger is not. So I don't know what you're going to get out of Pittman. If you need PPR, passing volume, target receptions, I would go for Alec Pierce.
I like that. So I'm going to talk about the SF LA game for obvious reasons. I'm an SF mark. Quarterback, San Francisco's 11th against quarterback, 2nd against running back, 19th against wide receiver, and 9th against tight end. The Rams are 9th against quarterback, 5th against running back, 21st against wide receiver, and 1st against tight end. Last time that's happened, the tight end for the Rams, Tyler Higbee, took absolute control, had 10 receptions, 79 yards. For this game, I think I'm starting the same people I started last time. That's Cooper Kupp and Higbee on the Rams side. I'm going with the 49ers. I'll put up CMC. I'll put up George Kittle. Low-end flex, you can put in Brandon Ayuk. The quarterbacks for me are no-goes in this one. Last time that the 49ers played them, and they were at full strength, and this is the fullest of strength you're going to get of the past 2 weeks for the 49ers line. They sacked him 7 times. Stafford is statuesque in there. He's getting beat up. This offensive line is putrid at this point. It doesn't look like a Super Bowl championship offensive line, and I think they're just going to make his life miserable. And on the other side, Garoppolo, while he's been playing good, I don't think it's gonna last. And this is one of those games, divisional games. They always play. You always play your division rivals tough. I'm looking at Jimmy Garoppolo as somebody I would, in a pinch, start as a super flex QB2, but in QB1 leagues, I'm going nowhere near him in this week. And we got 2 more games, but I do want to lighten the mood just a little bit. So let's do our homer picks of the week. Once I get to it. All right. So I'll let Nick start off first. Who is your homer pick of the week?
My homer pick of the week is Devonta Smith. I think he's going to have a big game this week, given that terrible Pittsburgh pass defense. And I say he goes off for 16 points this week.
Nice. I like it.
Goes off.
100 yards and a touchdown. Give me some.
Nice. Jordan, how about you?
So my boy Adam, I know he's repping the Cowboys Nation too, so I'm going to save the layup for him. Give me that Dallas defense against Justin Herbert. Micah Parsons is going to be all over him all day. If you're in a league that rewards you for sack points, get ready for Dallas to put a 20 spot in at the defensive side of the ball. I love the matchup. This is the softest offense they play all year. Just ask my buddy, Travis Sumter.
Oh, he's saying you're worse than the Lions, bro. You're worse than the Lions without Swift and offense. Brown.
Yeah, great offense.
Without Swift and Brown, though, they did not have
way better than the Bears still.
Adam, you're a fellow Cowboys fan. who are you doping about this week?
I mean, Pollard is obviously the easy choice. That's what Jordan just set me up for on that one. I agree with him. I have Pollard as a possible top 5 running back this week as well. The Bears defense has been pretty good against the pass. They are awful against the run, bottom 5 against the run. They give up a lot of big plays in the rushing game too, which is kind of Pollard's specialty, those big chunk plays. Big week from Pollard this week. As Jordan mentioned before, there's nobody to challenge him for touches either. They really don't have another guy behind Pollard. So it's just all in on Pollard this week before the bye week. Rest him up, and it'll, be right back to business as usual.
Like I said before, I got Pollard in so many leagues just waiting for this moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like over here like, Zeke, just take 3 weeks off, go to Cancun, buddy, rest up, let Tony Pollard go in there and tear shit up.
I just throw this out there in the trenches league. Neither Adam or I can get Tony Pollard off the guy that has him Nick, who pronounces his name as Tony Pollard, and that just drives me nuts.
He doesn't deserve him. He doesn't deserve him.
He doesn't.
Tony Pollard.
Tony Pollard.
That is amazing. And you're never going to get him if he goes off this week.
Nope.
Well, my dope homer pick of the week is going to be George Kittle. We saw him in the first game. He was just a blocker. And I don't think that's a thing anymore. I think that with Trent Williams back, I know Mike McGlinchey is, I don't know. He's the closest thing to a zombie I've ever seen. Like, you can get by this man by just, walking around him. But from what I've seen in the past couple weeks, George Kittle is going to be a monster this week. They need somebody. Debo is out. The Debo spike game is out the window. So now it's time for George Kittle to prove what he's worth, prove he's making that much money, and show why I said this man was going to be tight end 1 this year. That take is not doing very well, but, hopefully he could have one of those big games and get himself back on track for that. So, George Kittle, you are my dope pick of the week. All right, so now we're back to the breakdowns. We've got 2 more. All right, and I messed this up because I put them both on Adam. So I'm only going to put one on Adam, and then I'm going to spin the Monday night game to everybody. So, Adam, tell me about Tennessee and Houston. I will give you the stats real quick. Tennessee and Houston. Tennessee is currently 28th against quarterbacks. RBs, they're first against running backs, which is weird. Wide receivers, they are 30th against them. Tight ends, they are 28th against them. Houston is 8th against the quarterback. They are dead last against the running back. 13th against receivers. 17th against tight ends. The Titans own the series 22-18. And ever since Deshaun Watson has left, Houston has lost 3 or 4 to Tennessee. So what do you say about this Tennessee-Houston matchup? Who do you like?
I mean, I'm really going to go out on a limb here and say I'm starting Derrick Henry this week. No surprise there, move. Obviously. Yeah. He's my RB1 this week. I mean, like you've used the word own a couple of times, but like the way Derrick Henry has absolutely owned the Texans recently, over 200 yards in each of his last 3 consecutive games, 7 touchdowns combined across those 3 games too. So all in on Derrick Henry, RB1 this week, obviously. I'm not starting anybody else from the Titans. I feel like Robert Woods should be doing more than he is. I mean, he's only eclipsed 40 yards once all season. He's pretty much been a non-factor. So Derrick Henry is my only play from the Titans. On the Texans, I mean, I kind of want to fade Pierce this week because the Titans' run D has been very good. As you said before, they are number 1 against running backs. It is hard to leave a guy like Pierce on the bench, though. I do like Brandon Cooks this week, though.
Might be traded.
Elio is giving you guys a shout out here, a Pollard smash week. Love
Damn right.
Elio.
Boy.
Damn right.
And guys, there's a question for you guys. How do you guys feel, about Chase not being put on the IR? It's kind of one of those situations where, he's looking for a second opinion. Are the Bengals thinking it's not as much as it is? And for fantasy teams, you're really kind of effing us because we could have used that IR spot to go get somebody.
For me, I agree. You are definitely effing us on the IR spot. It kind of makes me nervous because if I'm Cincinnati, I've got the weapons. I've got all the weapons I need in this offense, man. Sit the hell down, get rested up, take care of it, come back healthy. My concern is he comes back too fast and something else happens to him.
1,000%. 1,000%. Yeah, so we'll move on to the final game. It is Green Bay at Buffalo. It's the old lion and the young lion coming together. Green Bay right now against the quarterback is third. Against the running back, they're 25th. Against wide receivers, they're fifth. And against tight ends, they're second. Buffalo is sixth against the quarterback, fourth against the running back. Wide receiver, they're eighth against wide receivers, and sixth against tight ends. I think that's the only team that has a full-on stat line through every defense or through every position. Their defense ranks in the top 10. That is crazy. And they were injured for a long period of time too. Their secondary
still are.
Beat up. Yeah. All time Bills are 8-5. Here's a stat for you. The Pack have never won a game in Orchard Park.
Never. 0-6.
0-6. Craziness. And the Bills, after a bye week under Sean McDermott, 5-0. So right now the Bills are 11-point favorite. Do you want any part of that action? First off, that's the first question for everybody. And then second is going to be, who do you want to start? I'm going to take that as nobody wants any part of that action.
Well, I mean, I feel like I can never take the Packers in this spot. It's not really a line I want to lay with the Bills either. If I had to pick a side, I'd rather lay with the Bills than take them with the Packers in this spot. For fantasy-wise, I mean, I think it's pretty simple. You play all of your Bills and you pretty much sit all of your Packers this week. I mean, everybody talks about Josh Allen, like, as they should, but I mean, this Bills defense is legit. That's nothing new. They've been legit for about 4 or 5 years now. They finished in the top 3 against the pass in 3 of the last 4 seasons. And, you know, again, anybody on the Packers, I'm pretty much sitting. A.J. Dillon's basically become an afterthought, under 10 touches in 2 of his last 3 games. Romeo Doubs looked very promising in the start, and he probably is for the long term, but he's basically gone quiet lately. He's gone 6-6-0 for point totals in the last 3 weeks. So, again, start your Bills, bench your Packers.
I agree 100%. I especially like Devin Singletary. He saw a season high 88% of snaps the last time we saw him. The Packers ranked 26 against the run, allowing the second most rushing yards this season. So I think Singletary is an absolute smash. One thing, and I don't think it's this week, but one thing I think is key to monitor from these Green Bay Packers who are clearly struggling. Aaron Rodgers said this week, guys who are making too many mistakes shouldn't be playing. Got to start cutting some reps. Maybe guys who aren't playing, maybe give them a chance. To me, that translates into, Dobbs, you had your chance. You're fumbling it. It might be time to see what Christian Watson brings to the table.
Does that include himself?
Oh, of course not. This is Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying.
$50 million man. Come on now.
And I mean, if you think about it, they have cut his snaps a little bit. Jordan Love was playing just a couple weeks ago. I saw it with my own eyes. It really happened.
If we really want this season to go into flux, let's start Jordan Love and let's see what happens. Just let's go, man.
Can't get any worse.
Do you imagine if
seriously.
something happened early to Rodgers and then Jordan Love led the comeback against the Bills? My head might actually explode. That would be amazing.
Oh, my God.
That might be the single greatest comeback of all time. Just because the comeback story of Jordan Love mixed with the comeback. But yeah, I completely agree with you guys. And Jordan, I agree with you. I love David Singletary as a DFS play. He is going to be rock solid. If you don't want to spend up on your Derrick Henrys, even though he's going to dominate, and you want to spend up on a receiver, go with Devin Singletary. He's probably going to be in that low 6,000 mark right there. But anyways, as we're talking about DFS, you know what time it is, guys? It's time for the ultimate DFS!
Woo!
All right, it's time for the ultimate DFS. I was hoping you were going to bring out like the title belts and hang them over and be like,
I'm trying. It got hung on my mic stand, so I just didn't want to look like an idiot. So, but thanks for bringing it up.
Oh, you know it, Jordan. You know it. We're going to start off with Adam, our guest. We're going to have you tell us about your ultimate DFS lineup.
Well, I mean, I went pretty heavy at the top. I went with Jalen Hurts against the Steelers. The Steelers have been miserable defensively in every area. I thought it was a good week to use Jalen Hurts. Great potential to be the QB1 this week. I'm also spending up for Derrick Henry. I talked before, 3 games in a row, over 200 yards against the Texans. The Texans are worse against the run this year than they've been. Big day for Henry. Obviously, I got my boy Tony Pollard in there. Me and Jordan talked up Tony Pollard a lot during this show. I'm sticking with him here. I've got Jalen Waddle. I said I like just about everybody on the Dolphins this week. I think it's a high-scoring game for the Dolphins. I want a piece of it, so I chose Waddle there. DJ Moore had his best game of the season last week. I don't think it's a coincidence that the first week they got rid of McCaffrey, all of a sudden DJ Moore is involved again. He might be kind of the focal point of this offense a little bit now. I'm going to stick with him at a pretty cheap price. And then I went with Marquise Goodwin with my third receiver with DK Metcalf out. Goodwin already got a little bit more involved last week, catching those 2 touchdowns. I think Bandy actually mentioned Marquise Goodwin in his 3 flex plays, so we did agree on that one. I went with Foreman in the flex. He had a real solid game last week. No Chuba Hubbard this week either. So I think Foreman could get even more work this week than he did last week. Hopefully he does something with that. Chris Myrick, I'm going way bargain on my tight end here. The Seahawks are the worst in the NFL against tight ends. Daniel Bellinger is out. He's having eye surgery, I believe. I believe it's Chris Myrick who's going to take over that starting position. This is obviously a dart throw, but at that price, he allowed me to pay up for people like Hurts and like Henry in this lineup. Defense, always the last thing I do. I go with, one that I like with what's available. The Commanders are playing against Sam Ehlinger. That could be a day where they do something here. They have gotten 5 or more sacks in 2 of their last 3 games. So I think Commanders defense are a good value play this week.
Yeah, I really like that. And the Chris Myrick one, that seems like the type of guy to get, 1 reception for 1 yard and a touchdown. That seems like that's the perfect play right there for
and
him.
that win you $500,000.
Hey,
there
maybe.
You go.
Right, dart throw. Throw that dart.
Just send him a thank you afterwards, right?
Oh, I will.
All right, Jordan, tell us about your ultimate DFS lineups.
Oh, yeah. So I decided not to. I tried really not to go as chalky up top. I feel like the Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen's are just such obvious plays this week. So I went Geno Smith. I saved a couple bucks there. Ultimately looked to get him in on a stack. Didn't really like Tyler Lockett's price, so I went Will Dissly there, hoping that they can connect one in the end zone. Running back, smash Tony Pollard. I think that's a real chalky choice, but I think he has, top 5 upside this week. Miles Sanders is one. I hate the guy because he plays for the Philadelphia Eagles, but all he does is perform. 70% of the Eagles' backfield touches, 7th in red zone usage. Steelers allow 9th most running back points. Philly ranks 1st in run plays per game. There's a mile worth of statistics there. Miles Sanders was another smash for me this week. I paid up at the wide receiver position this week. I think the Minnesota Vikings are going to absolutely have their way with the Cardinals. Chris Olave, it doesn't matter whether you got the red rifle. It doesn't matter if you got famous Jameis. That guy just produces. My dart throw of the week is Garrett Wilson. With Breece Hall going down, I think there's a really good chance he gets a little bit more targets. He gets a little bit more of the focal point of this offense. And my flex, I was going with Brandon Ayuk. Did that before the Debo news. Now that the Debo news is here, I like it even better as he has absolutely become the wide receiver 1 in San Francisco.
100%. I love it. And we also have a little bit of chiming in. Adam destroyed that. Good job, Adam.
I agree.
Armchair Athletics approves it.
I agree.
I agree as well.
All right. So here we go, Nick. It's your turn. Let's get it. Your ultimate DFS starts of the week.
Okay, my ultimate DFS starts of the week were picked because they were all in green and they were all 26 or below. So I got Joe Burrow playing against the Cleveland Browns, who are going to play like their uniform color, brown. All right. So he had $7,200. Then I got Brian Johnson Jr. coming in at $5,600 playing against the Indianapolis Colts. And I picked the running back from America's other team, Raheem Mostert, at $5,900. Then as far as receivers, I went with Amon St. Brown. Can't go wrong with him. Brandon Cooks, this could be his last game in Houston, so I'm going to go with him for $5,900. And I said it before, and I'll say it again. Devonta Smith goes off big time this week against Pittsburgh. 16 points at $6,300. My flex, I picked Paris Campbell because last week Paris Campbell led the Colts in receptions and targets, and I think he's going to be a dump off again this season. This week rather. Zach Ertz, always reliable at $5,100 against Minnesota, and I got the Commanders coming in at $2,600 against the hapless Indianapolis Ponies.
Nice. And the trenches, of course. Good job, Jordan. Good job. Then we got our boy Zach coming in saying, "What's up, guys? What's up, Zach?"
Hello, Zachary.
He's watching because he's waiting on a phone call. 100%.
Nice. All right. Am I finishing up this ultimate DFS lineup? I'm going to put Tua in at $6,200 because Tua and Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle against Detroit just sounds too juicy to me. I think that's going to be an air raid. And if the Lions can actually put up a fight, that means that Tua stays on the field longer. Love it. Kenneth Walker, I'm just going to ride that train, man. Keep going with Kenneth Walker. New York Giants, I don't care what it is. There's nobody who's stopping this guy right now. I'm gonna go with 6,500 Kenneth Walker, easy money. Raheem Mostert is the second part of my Dolphins stack. Jimmy Johnson's second favorite team. America's second favorite team. Raheem Mostert, 5,900. You gotta love it. The Lions just suck everywhere right now on defense, and that should really lead to a lot of Raheem Mostert touches, whether it's targets or carries. Devontae Adams, before I found out he had the flu, regardless, I think he's going to play. And if he plays, there's no Marshawn Lattimore on the other side. And the Saints have just been absolutely terrible without Lattimore covering the number one guy. DeAndre Hopkins had 14 targets the other day. I think he had 9 receptions and 99 yards. He went nuts. And then George Pickens, he's been, very good with Kenny Pickett. And at 4,700, that's, if I can get 12 to 15 points out of him, I'm loving every second of that. Jalen Waddle is the third part of my America's second team stack. And at 6,700, I think he's the cheaper option between him and Tyreek Hill. And they both have that big game potential. I went Marquise Goodwin just like Adam did because, there's an opening now. DK Metcalf is looking like he's going to miss some time. If not just this game, it's just going to open up some touches for Marquise Goodwin. And 49er fan, I remember signing him because he was a deep threat and the good old days of that. And I think that, he's got a couple more of those games left in him, going with him at 4,400. Freiermuth is my guy. George Pickens. And last week, the Muth got Luth on the last drive and was loving every second of it. And I think Kenny Pickett goes back to the well there. I mean, best friend of a rookie quarterback is his tight end. And, Pat Freiermuth is a real damn good friend. And then finally, the Panthers at Atlanta. Shoot, at this point, this is just a toss-up game. Who's going to win this game? And at 2,800, that's not a bad toss-up to have the Panthers going up against Atlanta, who's been struggling a little bit as of late, whose coach has shown that even if he is down by 42 points, he wouldn't let Marcus Mariota air raid the ball. So I'm going to go with the Panthers all the way on this one. Plug it in. That is my DFS lineup of the week. All right, guys. Well, that was a freaking marathon of a podcast. Thank you for freaking staying with us. And
we're all about the stamina, baby.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'm gonna go tell my wife that right now.
Yeah, you
I'm all
are.
about the stamina, baby. But
I didn't
anyways,
think we're
guys,
that kind of podcast, but okay.
Hey, we started. We
It's after
started
10
talking
o'clock.
about it at the beginning, didn't we? So
we're a late night podcast, Nick.
Mm.
We're all about that life.
late night, all night, we got you covered.
But anyways, guys, we wanted to reward you with a little blooper reel from our boy Bandy at 4th and Flex. I clicked the wrong one.
Hello, mate. Oh, hello. Hello, mate. Hello, love. Hello. Happy Halloween from all of us here at the podcast. If what you're doing in your fantasy league is your fantasy team turning into a jar of dirt? Get on the fucking ground, mate. Over at the 4th and Flex Fantasy Football Podcast, want to wish you and your loved ones a happy Halloween.
Man, that is dedication. That is dedication right there.
Why is all the rum gone? All right, guys. Well, like I said, I want to thank you guys for tuning in with us and sticking around with us. Jordan, you're a reigning champion, so I will let you plug your stuff first. Go ahead. This is your minute.
Hey, find me at TrueSerumFootball.com, on Twitter at TrueSerumFF, all over Facebook with True Serum. If you just type in True Serum, you'll find me somewhere, guaranteed.
He's on Sunday mornings, start 6.
Yep.
Get on it. And Adam, thank you for coming in as well. And go ahead, plug your stuff as well, my brother.
Well, I have full-time NFL writing. Go to sportskita.com/Adam Hulse. Has all of my articles there. I release 20 to 25 a week, so a ton of content there. Also have my podcast, Sports Talk with Adam Hulse, and follow me on Twitter at Adam Hulse Sports.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys again for coming in. And Jordan, we will see you next week to defend your title. And guys, as always, check us out on Sunday for the Wake Up TSS show. No, you can flex. Don't worry about it. Flex, bro.
This one feels less fun.
Beat by fucking Davis Mills, man. Davis Mills. Come on now. It doesn't get much worse than that.
Imagine if the Raiders got beat by them. They'd be feeling that pain for sure. But anyways, guys, Wake Up TSS. We got the London game, so we will be at you at 8 o'clock in the morning. That's right. Fred will be there too. He's going to be waking up. Commissioner Cooper will be back, so I don't have to take these hosting duties. And we'll have Greg O.J. Mayer along with Mikey Betts and the whole crew. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we are out.
We're on a mission.
Yeah, that's what it is.